ZOTAC gaming legend, the name that we trust. From 4K resolution to graphics robust, unleashing the fury in games we trust. ZOTAC gaming's power will never adjust.
In the game, high score is the aim. Energy in veins, breaking all the chains. Whispers of the night, controllers held so tight. Friends on headset call, we will never fall. Night out gamers scream, chasing every dream. Heart rate up and high, under neon sky. Midnight snacks galore, the door. Midnight snacks galore, the door. Night owl gamers scream, chasing every dream. Heart rate up and high, under neon sky. Monsters in the game, high score is the aim. Energy in veins, breaking all the chains. Monsters in the game, high score is the aim. Energy in veins, breaking all the chains.
Feeling like a kingpin, beats so pumping, heart thumping, dreams in the wingman, frames per second, eye candy never miss. PC on steroids, it's a digital bliss. Silicon beast unleash, no lag and bush, cooling tech, wizardry, fans that hush. Colors popping off the screen, hue so lush, rendering the clean, zero frame rush in the game world. Team
cruising through the night, riding on a graphics card, taking flight. PC gaming, it's a lifestyle I choose. Unleashing power, leaving the console bruised. Building my rig like a mad scientist. ZOTAC's a catalyst, my PC's kissed. Graphics so sharp, they cut like a knife. Immersive worlds, I'm living the virtual life. I'm on a rampage, no time to reload. ZOTAC got me feeling like a hero in tow. Frames per second, never dropping the ball. With ray tracing on, standing tall. I'm on a rampage, no time to reload. ZOTAC got me feeling like a hero in tow. Frames per second, never dropping the ball. With ray tracing on, standing tall.
Sitting at my desk, I power up the machine. ZOTAC be the ultimate dream. Graphics card shining, neon lights so bright. I'm a robot being paint all through the night. I'm a robot gamer playing all through the night. In the virtual world, I'm a digital hero. I'm a million for a sleep. Game's my ground zero. Clicking on my keyboard, mouse in hand. I'm a PC gaming enthusiast. My skills expand. Night, I'm in the zone. Headphones on, getting lost on my own. Digital battles, explosions erupting. Every click, and on my fingers corrupting.
Dang it, man. I can't win. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another very cool, very fun. We're going to talk some tech. We're going to talk about plans and upcoming streams. ZOTAC USA stream. Brought to you by the lovely ZOTAC USA and all of the socials be over here. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. So you may have noticed really quick, before we kind of dig into it, no build stream today, unfortunately. There will still be a build stream on Wednesday the 29th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. The intention there is to have Bryant from ZOTAC, maybe Jason, as well as potentially Big Kevin from Be Quiet, and a guest from Patriot Viper as well to help me with RAM tuning. And then still locked in for the 6 a.m. 5080 stream. So I will say this, it's going to be kind of an interesting stream. So basically what's going to happen here is that night, I'm going to set up my OS and everything on my new 5080 build. And then at 6 a.m., I'm going to go live. I'm going to unbox the 5080 and I'm going to install it at the same time right here live on stream. And we're going to go through the process of setting up drivers and everything. And then play all day, at least 12 hours. Yep, I will be live at launch time. And we're going to give stuff away all day long. In addition to all the giveaways we're already doing and the Gleam that we currently have running, which was linked a little bit earlier, which includes ZOTAC, Be Quiet, and Patriot Viper, making it possible for me to do all this cool stuff to make this build happen. So yes, it will be a 5080 first, and then later on will be a second build featuring a 5090. The end result is that there will be two builds. There will be a 5090 with a 9800X3D, 64 gigs of RAM, and 8 terabytes of game storage, and a stream PC/server with a 9950X, 5080, and 128 gigs of RAM, and 16 terabytes of storage. Then we're going to show some stuff off. I even plan to work with a new, kind of bit of a new technology. Thunderbolt networking is something a lot of people have never heard of. Boards will support USB4. I'm going to try USB 4 networking, which is 20 gigabit per second, PCIe to PCIe, host to host. I'm hoping that I can start bumping up the resolution of what I send with less stuttering. Really excited. It's going to be insane. 5080 doing all the encoding and a 9950X alongside of it. Yeah. And both will look just like this. Hey, left, right? I am this. S-Reg also had a great idea. I'm going to do an additional bonus giveaway for the cool flag I've got in Magic Closet back there. For caption this. I'd love it for you to caption, haven't you? You should always pet your GPUs. And don't forget to pet the others too. Keep it even. Oh, I know. That machine's going to be beautiful. Both are 9800X 3D and 5090 and 9950X and 5080. Both Amp Extreme Infinities. What's close to being on fire? So as I said, yes. Well, we're not going to be using one of those, Darth. We're going to be using these. This is the 5090 solid OCP, by the way. Clean one. Beautifully clean. This is the Amp Extreme Infinity. See yourself. See into yourself. I don't remember which camera I'm using. So yeah, on each of the Discords, there are my personal Discord, on the ZOTAC Discord, there are currently things going on. A couple little notes. There is currently a giveaway running on the ZOTAC USA Discord if you haven't already entered there. Another opportunity to win one of their mouse mats, a t-shirt like I'm currently wearing, and one of the magnets. Like, you can kind of tell a little tiny Z-Torm is currently standing on back there. And I will unravel the mouse mat here in a minute. One of these. So, yeah. On my personal Discord, on the ZOTAC Discord, there are events. If you go sign up for those events on those Discords, you will get a notification automatically when the thing is going to happen. obviously also you can set a notification on for this channel when we go live. The build on Wednesday and the 12+ hour stream on Thursday will be on here. I also will be streaming my own personal channel in the meantime. Continue to do cool things like giveaways and stuff. Oh, there is a magnet above the closet. I just don't have one right next to me. There's also another one underneath the ZOTAC logo right there. Yeah, please join us for that. It's going to be cool. We're going to have access to some very cool people from Be Quiet, people from ZOTAC, eventually people from Patriot Viper. All of those people will be there with us to ask questions, go through the build. Pretty hyped. Really excited for Thursday. And the Thursday launch day, I'll just share really quick with you. We've got a list of games. There's a guinea pig right there. He's currently eating a giant piece of kale while he's napping. But he did just eat a giant piece of kale. All right, so for sure, upcoming games on launch day: Black Myth Wukong, Indiana Jones: The Great Circle, Horizon Forbidden West, Alan Wake 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Cyberpunk 2077, Deep Rock Galactic, Still Wakes the Deep, in addition to Stalker 2 and MS Flight Simulator 24. I do not have a good joystick though, so I might have to do that with a controller. Alternatively, I have this old Logitech joystick that I recently discovered has been for sale on Amazon since 2003. And it's still the same. So, solid product. They just don't have a really good HOTAS setup. So, I'll probably crash a lot, but it will be cool. Other cool things that are coming up here post the release of it. There's already a video on NVIDIA's YouTube channel talking about upcoming features for NVIDIA Broadcast, including AI stream agent that will trash talk you, but also help you. And then additional cool things like AI lighting, so you don't have to actually have a light. And then improved other features. So I'll talk through all that stuff post-launch as well, because I'm a big stream nerd, as you know. It's going to be a really good time. Now, Schnibs, this is basically that. Like, they could have just converted this from serial to USB in like 1999 and called it good, and it hasn't changed since then. The AI thing looks really cool. I don't know if you guys have watched the video, but the AI is like, okay, chat, where should we drop in Apex? And then you drop, and he's like, or say, chat says, drop here, or whatever. Like, okay. And it's like, I see you dropped here, which is an odd choice because you got wrecked last time you jumped out of the plane there. Listen, Harp, I'll just make it an AI picture of your face. Just like real life. Alrighty. Let's talk about the GPUs in a bit more detail and some of the technology and stuff like that. This is going to be a short stream. I just wanted to go live here. We're going to do a giveaway. Did we start a giveaway? If not, please do. So to do just one quick giveaway here. Mouse mat, t-shirt, and magnet. And then in about 15-ish plus minutes, depending on how I get through everything, I'm going to switch over to my personal channel and do a kind of normal Friday where we play games and hang out. Make sure you follow there too. I got more there. Now, with all of that said, let's pull up the GPUs. There we are. We got a giveaway going right now. Yes, still US, Canada, in case you're wondering. Start some music. All right. The ZOTAC Gaming GeForce RTX 50 series launch My camera broke again. Can you please stop? Politely, I ask. Sony a6000. You are too expensive. Please work. Hey, Alamore. Alrighty. So we've got the 5080 and the 5090. Somebody asked about the 5070 earlier. I do not know anything more than what has been shown in pictures. The potential discussion that there will be a 2-slot 2-fan version of the 5070, a 2-slot 3-fan version of the 5070 Ti, with very similar design to the Solid that you see right here. Don't know anything else about that. You can, if you went to my YouTube channel, see me peel stickers off of it. It's quite satisfying. I'm going to start with the video, and then we're going to talk through some cool tech things. We're going to talk some DLSS stuff. We're going to talk a couple other things today, because I wanted to get in a little bit more into technical weeds, because I am excited for the DLSS performance, frame gen performance. Specifically, I don't know if people have been seeing the pictures of DLSS 4 performance, but you basically get a higher fidelity image with DLSS 4 in performance than you did with DLSS 3 in quality. Like more details, more sharpness, more reflections. It's kind of nuts, actually. And don't forget that in games that support it, the new AI model will be, the new AI neural model will be available in games that support it on older GPUs, I think. If you go to Cyberpunk 2077, right now, you can actually switch from the old model to the new model and experience performance improvements and visual performance improvements. It's hard to really express how big the cooler is until you see it in person. Now remember, the baseline cooling is pretty much the same across the whole series. It's just a different visual look. Now, the version of the Amp Extreme Infinity that I have here, this one does not have the transparent plastic. The final version that is going to be released here shortly, this will be transparent. You'll be able to see the fins through it. Oh, I for one am okay with it. I'm putting it inside of that case. Make bigger. What else am I putting in all that space when all the drives are so small? Remember, you used to have to put hard drives and stuff in there and all those extra wires. Now you don't do any of that. The only thing that takes up any space in there is this. Smells like many different people and traveling through space and time in the universe. Let me ask this of you, chat, while we talk through the technical. Which one do you like more? Do you like the super classy look of the Solid, the simplistic low lighting, or the super classy but super snazzy lit up and including a mirror of Infinity version? I didn't realize that video had just went to a weird Dukes of Hazzard thing. Infinity mirror, like this spot of infinity. We're gonna scroll right through and talk about each thing as we get down there. The intention here is to blur the lines between tech and art with performance design and airflow dynamics. Elegant, distinguished, and unrivaled, even, not unraveled. All right, is the 5th generation of tensor cores, which includes DLSS4. They're I hear you. They are very bronze. When you see it in person, they are very, very bronze. 4th gen ray tracing cores. The neural shaders have been added. Some of the stuff that we haven't talked about a ton is there is a new NV encoder. I don't know a ton about it. I am a huge fan of NV encoder, and I have been since the beginning, opening up for the ability for people to create content on their single PC much more easily. Yeah, DLSS4 with multi-frame gen. Reflex 2, which is something that we haven't really talked about much. Now, Reflex 2 is interesting because I know many people are talking about latency. Reflex 2 brings that. So Reflex brings the number down in general, I think almost 50%, but then I think Reflex 2 does almost another 50% reduction in latency when you have it enabled. Now, Reflex 2, like DLSS, and I think maybe FrameGen, they can be enabled, force enabled for games. Right now, you could already enable Reflex to games that didn't support it, but you can do Reflex 2 and then as well as DLSS, I believe, into unsupported games now. Or at least that is what's coming in the next generation. True light graphics, obviously, we've seen a ton of cool pictures, or at least I have. Everything looks amazing. There's the NVIDIA ACE, digital humans and AI assistants. New creator tools. Yeah. See, this is the updated NVIDIA Broadcast and 9th gen NVIDIA encoder, which I am very excited for. Updated version of the NVIDIA app. And of course, G-Sync is to be on. So there's quite a few games that will be day 0. We'll play quite a few of them on Thursday. AI visual enhancement, game-changing realism. So some of the kind of interesting things that I saw. This is an interesting picture because this is actually upscaling and using ray tracing to enhance the visual identity of Half-Life 2. I'm gonna say, nope, I lost it. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. All right, here we go. So we've got the Amp Extreme Infinity and the Solid. No frills, all action, ultimate gaming GPU. So, as we already talked about, the Amp Extreme Infinity has the Infinity Mirror. It has those 3 controllable ARGB zones, updated Spectre 2.0 with the external cable that you can hook up to ARGB on any controller so that you don't have to use any software. You can use whatever you're using for everything else. Ice Storm 3.0 because it's been buffed. For those of you who watched me play Still Wakes the Deep on Wednesday, you would have seen he talk about how the fact that that GPU, even at 420 watts, never got above 66 degrees Celsius. Never. It doesn't get hot. And that's Ice Storm 2.0. So this is an improved version of that, and I'm really excited to see how it performs. Dual BIOS and the Blade Link fans. The dual BIOS, remember I said it before, can be controlled by software, so that's pretty cool. And then the Solid. The only RGBs on the Solid are the ZOTAC Gaming logo and the ZTORM face itself. Many of you don't know this or haven't registered this yet, but the ZOTAC logo is just ZTORM's face. And once you see it, You cannot unsee it. It is not possible. And it's okay if I broke your brain a little bit. Sorry, I'm pulling something up here. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Once you see that, you cannot unsee. It is. I don't have a Z-Term thing sitting next to me, but yes. I want the ZOTAC logo big. Let me big, not Z-Term logo. Let's zoom in. Can I do that? You gonna let me do that? Okay. You see? It's his eyes and his little horn thing. Good luck with that. You're welcome. Yes, so the Solid still has the same Ice Storm 3.0 design, the same Spectra 2.0 design, the same Blade Link fans, dual bias, and active control for independently controlling each of the fans. Only difference is, again, it's just cool, elegant. Here's Ice Storm 3.0. I didn't realize that if I scroll down, this changes. Does this actually do this? I did not know. You see a mustache with fangs? Okay. Right back there. To see his eyes and his little horn thingy. It's him. It's him. It's him. I'm really helpful, I know. Okay, so let's just scroll on through. So we're just going to look at the breakdown here of the Amp Extreme Infinity Blade Link fan designs. The blades actually go outside of the ring. It's kind of a very, very interesting design. I'm very curious to see how it goes, but I suspect we'll rolling on forward, pass through cooling. So the card is completely exposed. The fins are completely exposed on the front and the back and through. So there's no air being trapped anywhere inside the card. The cooler is, or you can see the radiator part and the fins is the entire length of the card. It goes literally from the IO ports to the mirror. There's also a 34% larger vapor chamber. Yes. More composite heat pipes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 9. Good math. Noise redefined. So the new design with a bigger cooler and the fan specifically is meant to reduce some of the audible sound you get from the fans. Now, active fan control 2 means you can control each fan independently, all three. So you can crank a specific one if you need to. Obviously, there's this one over the GPU. That's really high. The one on the left here is the pass-through fans. You might turn that up a bit more and then kind of just cool down to keep moving the central fan. Now, strong durability. Oh, we're going to talk about the dual bias. Sorry. Dual bias button, exactly that. There is a noise or temperature mode, basically a quiet operating or performant mode. Can control is a digital button. You can control this in the Firestorm software this generation, meaning you do not have to go open your PC, change the mode, and use it for various tasks throughout the day. Reduce power consumption and noise, which for optimized for when you're working or whatever else you're doing. Strong durability. Okay, here we go. So Obviously, there's this gigantic fin stacked cooler, this huge vapor chamber. There is also a much larger solid metal bracket right here that you can see. This entire backplate is solid metal. And then there is a solid metal frame that goes the entire length of the card on both sides, and it's attached all the way to the IO ports to the end by the mirror. The part that really impressed me, obviously, is there is literally a solid plate on the IO. So you have your IO bracket, covers 3 slots, and then on the inside of that, you have a solid metal plate that attaches the bracket to the card. Not staged or anything, it's just a huge piece of metal that then provides the backbone of the whole card. I can't really show you or express to you how sturdy it is. It is a solid card. It's the name solid on one of them. It's not solid. It's the Amp Extreme Infinity. But this thing is not moving. This thing is not moving. I tried as much as I'm willing to try. It is not moving. So when you put this into your, say, your LAN PC or whatever, it's going to be very, very solid. You don't have to worry about it wobbling, sagging, or any of that stuff. That is reinforced by its own frame. These are 3. There will be, from what I know, a 2-slot 5070 version. It is also, we'll get to that in a second here, but it is 7% shorter than the previous generation, which I happen to have right here. This is a 4090 Trinity OC. So quite a bit bigger. I mean, it's hard to really show, but another thing you might, I'll do a closer shot of the camera, but you'll be able to see the difference between this card's design and the just absolute solid piece of metal that is those. No, it doesn't. So one of the things, this is still 3-slot, but I'll show them side by side here. These are the big ones. They're not going to be bigger than this, just to be clear. Yeah, so retention bracket. The retention bracket on the 4090 versus the retention bracket on the 5090. And here's that reinforced mid-frame, end-to-end design, which is not something that existed on the other cards. And again, I'll show you that here in just a second. Another super cool change. The 12V power plug has been inverted now, so the connector piece is on top. It's much easier to use. Do not believe the answer to that is yes, but I don't actually know off the top of my head. I don't think Jason or Brian are here to answer that question. Yeah, I'm not sure about liquid metal. My assumption is, again, it's probably assumption is no. Speaking high level tech in general, there is a video that Steve did with kind of with the engineer for the 5090 FE, talking about kind of what's necessary to make sure liquid metal is safe. There are obviously benefits, but there are also there are concerns. So we have a really solidly built GPU that can be used and travel safely without having to worry about that either. But yeah, can't say for sure on that yet. So the 12V power, this is a 2x6. I'm going to talk about this for 2 seconds. Um, the 2x6 connector is slightly different. It has longer sense pins. They changed the way the sense pins work. There's no longer a ground out mode, basically, getting to a ton of detail. If there were no sense pins, then the cable kind of knew it could send a certain amount of power. That no longer exists. Um, the sense pins now are required to be connected to even send a minimum amount of power. If there's no sense pin connected, the cable will not send any power, which allows for things like this. So there are longer gold-plated connectors in here. There are longer sense pins. Make sure that you are using a 12V 2x6 cable with your power supply. Many manufacturers have been sending replacements for those, or there are those for sale. I encourage you to make sure that that is what you are using. Now, when I install this, when I do the build on Wednesday, I'll talk through this a little bit more. Maybe I'll convince Kevin to talk about it in a bit more detail. But essentially, the cables that I am using are going to be 12V 2x6. Yeah. Now, in addition, as you can see on the screen, in addition to all that kind of reverse connector, the extended of the pins, there is a 12V 2x6 safety light, which has to do again with those sense pins. If the card is not making clean contact with those sense pins to know that the power should be sent and drawn, there will be a red light on your card, and the card will not work and will not power on. You need the green light, which essentially says everything is connected properly. There is good contact. Sense pins are connected. All other pins are cleanly connected, and power is flowing as it should. So if you plug it in and you cram it up against the glass or something, or whatever you do with the connector, don't do that, by the way. It will go red and not work. Doesn't mean it's broken. It just means that it's protecting you. So a really thoughtful addition that they've thrown in here. Each one of these cards, I'm not certain on the solid. I'm sure on the Amp Extreme Infinity will come with an included metal support stand if you want to use it, depending on your case, your use case, how your card's sitting. You've got another one. Maybe you have one of the ZOTAC ARGB ones that we were giving away a bunch of here last year. Up to you. Obviously, as I said, the card is super reinforced, but there are other things to consider. Does your motherboard have a reinforced PCIe slot? If not, I would encourage you to use one of these. Now, there are reinforced PCIe slots with metal reinforcement on them. They are sturdy. They are meant to hold the weight. Still may want to use one of these. I've seen various people. Sometimes people use Legos. Whatever kind of fun thing. This card has a nice clean spot between the fans or at the end for you to use them. Now, as I was saying earlier, here is a 7% shorter. So we went from 355.5 millimeters to 332 millimeters. Absolutely fantastic. Like, this is you think about it, a really minor change, right? That's not a lot of length, but that is probably the difference between fitting this in a tiny case and not in a tiny case. Because not only did they shrink it in length by 7%, they actually increased the length of the cooler. So you have more fin stack in a shorter distance, and then you have that reinforced steel frame that goes all the way to the IO. So when you screw in the IO in your case, you are supporting that metal frame. So as the card does move or whatever, it's actually going to be pulling against the screws on your case and the case frame rather than just the PCIe slot and whatever little connector there is between the two. So 7% reduction, 332 can get you into a lot of like SFX cases and stuff that you may not have been able to do before. And one of those SFX cases with the cutout on the end, it's going to look really, really cool with the infinity mirror. Speaking of the Infinity Mirror. So the Infinity Mirror is available on the Amp Extreme Infinity, both 5080 and 5090 versions right now. This is Zone 3. So on the Amp Extreme Infinity, you have, you go a little bigger. Let's do this one. You have a light bar right here that you can kind of see. So this is an addressable zone. You have the ZOTAC logo. This is an addressable zone. And then the mirror itself with the ARGB is another addressable zone. And as I said, you can connect a cable here that's white that comes with it that plugs into any ARGB header, any ARGB 5-volt header. So any controllers you already have in your case, any motherboards, anything like that will be able to address those 3 zones and sync it to everything else going on in your system without needing to install additional drivers or software, which I think is fantastic. Okay, back to the thing. So yeah, intricate lighting. So, you know, we have this infinity mirror. ZOTAC was able to stick this on the end without cutting into the cooling, right? So there's, didn't really get to ask if I could take this apart. I probably can't. But it's just kind of on the end. So it's perfect for, you know, the fish tank kind of cases. There's a couple of ITX cases coming up that actually have a cutout for the end of the GPU that hangs out. It's going to look really cool there. This would look really cool basically at any angle. The other thing to keep in mind is as you're doing this is a classy bronze design for a classy build with style, right? So maybe you're doing it at a weird angle. Maybe you're going to do like a vertical mount instead of just like a horizontal vertical, or who knows what angle it's going to be at because of that solid metal frame attached to the IO all the way through the card to the end. Right there. Well, you don't have to worry about the card wobbling or anything like that. So there is unique animated modes. So I have not seen this to my knowledge. When we go live on Thursday at 6 a.m. will be the first time that the Infinity Mirror will be able to be controlled and shown off in all of its glory. There was a sample version at CES. It was stuck in one color. The version that we're going to have on the 30th will be able to control with Glide, Prism, Fusion Design, Tide, or custom addressable color. Very curious to see how it works. So here's those 3 zones: the light bar, the logo, and the Infinity Mirror. Now, as I said previously, we're talking a lot of cool. The plastic around the fans in this version is not transparent, but the final version of this card, this will be like a frosted transparent plastic. So in theory, there'll be a little bit of light coming through from the light bar, kind of glowing through your fans in a very subtle way. Should look very, very cool. As an older person, I love transparent plastic designs. I definitely once built a PC in an acrylic case. You'll know you're old if you remember the all acrylic case. Guinea pig right there, just hanging out with me. It's Julian. Yeah, you can kind of see if I can zoom in a bit more. All right, so you can kind of see it right here on the top. The color bleeding through the clear plastic. I think it's going to look really cool. Yes, those are really hard to switch parts, and if you mess with the screws too much, they would often break. There is going to be a fully updated and new version of Firestorm to match the elegant design of the bronze understated professional look we've got going on here. Oh yeah, so all right, just talking into some of the NVIDIA tech really quick before we wrap up this stream here. Do make sure you enter the giveaway here, and just as a reminder, I'm going to go offline here, and then I'm going to go back online immediately on my own personal channel. Make sure you head over there if you haven't already. Reflex 2. So this will bring latency down yet again below Reflex, from what I know. From what I believe I remember out of watching the YouTube video, there is a video about this on NVIDIA's own YouTube. They'll bring it down potentially another 50%. Reflex is necessary when using frame generation with 40 series. I would expect Reflex 2 will also help a ton, especially if you start cranking up the 4X frame gen. I didn't think about that. I have to wait. I have to be online. Do I need to open another OBS? All right. So the upcoming releases and updates to NVIDIA Broadcast are going to include a ton of AI. We already talked about it a little bit. There's going to be an AI assistant to help you with your stream. There's going to be AI controlled lighting that will basically fake a key light. So it will be resource intensive from what I've heard, but if you wanted to, do a talking head stream or a podcast, or just kind of like hang out and chat without gaming, you can turn it on. You don't need to turn on your lights. And then additional updates to AI. Obviously, AI-powered home studio. NVIDIA Broadcast is getting an entire facelift. Excited to see that. Additional RTX video super resolution, which also now supports HDR. If you're not familiar with that, at least the way it has worked, I'm not sure if it's going to change. If a video is under 1080p, you can use RTX super resolution. It will actually upscale it like a YouTube video for you, or another video you're watching and streaming, up to 4K, and it does a pretty dang good job. RTX Remix is continuing to grow and come along. That tool is something people can play with. It is really complicated if you don't understand how it works, but it is going to be really handy going forward with multiple games. And then just improved creativity stuff with an ND encoder. Now I think DaVinci Resolve has something like a 30% performance increase, which is cool because I'm learning to use that myself. So yeah, last but not least, before we wrap up today, obviously there's Game Radio Studio drivers. Pick which one makes sense for you. Studio drivers update slower. They are more stable. They pass through more verification. NVIDIA app is working to fully replace the NVIDIA control panel that we've all used for all these years. NVIDIA app will overclock your GPU automatically. It will optimize games for you if you would like it to do so. Big change from the NVIDIA app and NVIDIA GeForce Experience is NVIDIA app does not require you to log in. It also includes their overlay, their RTX enhancement features, the game overlay tweaks where you can adjust the colors and sharpness and everything of what you're doing in a game. If you turn on HDR on your monitor, you can use RTX HDR instead of Auto HDR in Windows. RTX HDR does an amazing job of turning a non-HDR game into an HDR game. Yeah, I too am a big fan of it. G-Sync continues to exist. So continue to use that. Virtual reality performance improvements as well, obviously, as we're talking about a beast card. And if you don't know already, there are 5090 benchmarks out there. I encourage you to take a look if you are curious, and then come talk about them with us on the ZOTAC Discord. All right, so just to kind of summarize and kind of wrap up here, On the 30th, the 5090 amp extreme infinity, the 5090 solid OC, the 5090 solid, 5080 amp extreme infinity, 5080 solid OC, and the 5080 solid will all be the official launch dates as far as I'm aware. So amp extreme infinity is a custom PCB for power, more overclocking. The 5090 solid OC is the kind of founders. It's not the founders. It is the NVIDIA design PCB, and then with an overclock, stock overclock, and then the solid standard without OC, standard card not OC, running at the base clock from NVIDIA. And that wraps those up. I did say I would scroll back up for a second and take a look at this because I didn't know that it was 2 different modes. Let's see, scroll. Yeah, okay. These are okay. This is nice. We'll talk through these real fast and we'll wrap it up here. So make sure you enter the giveaways. We're gonna pick a winner in about 5 minutes or so. All right. So the pass-through area on the solid, right here, basically completely uncovered fins. Air's gonna move really quick. These solids should be the MSRP cards. Yes. 6 a.m. Pacific time. There's a nice little accent here of like kind of, I wanted to say chrome, but maybe it's a little silvery. And then we got obviously the full length heatsink. The way the air flows on the solid is straight through. There is nothing stopping it from flowing straight through. You can kind of see through. That it has that same 34% larger vapor chamber, the same improved thicker composite heat pipes, the same blade length fans. Active fan 2.0 the same way. So as you can see, this example shows 1 fan off, 1 fan medium, 1 fan high. Dual bias control, same for software. And then fan freeze fan stop. This is the mode where you can stop the fans when it's idle. When you're hanging out in Windows, browsing YouTube or whatever, you can stop your fan. Big tension bracket, and this is another angle of that support bar. As you can see, it crosses all the way through. The reverse power connector, the included reinforced stand. Oh, even smaller. The solid is 320 millimeters, so it's 10% shorter than the 4090s. So these would be even better potentially to fit into a small case. These ones also have the edge screws for certain design cases that have the ability to do GPU support bracket itself. So you can screw this in. One single lighting area, but as is same with the Amp Extreme Infinity, you can control this externally with an ARGB cable. Same new Firestorm, and we are through. So I was going to show you the cooler really fast before switching gears here. So first of all, so you can see through. Yeah, you can see light all the way through. See, for basically one end of the card all the way to the other. See, the fins come all the way to the end. You can see through there too. So you can kind of see it from this. You see the bronze right there. That is that same skeletal frame that I've been talking about this whole time. It is all the way up, all 3 slots on the bracket. Kind of see a little bit of it right here sticking out too. So that connects all the way down. It passes through in several places, including right here. And then it laces out. And there's also another pass through, I believe, right here, all the way to the end. So if you had a mount in your case, and your case has a pre-built TP bracket, you can screw into this on the end. And then it goes all the way back around again on the other side. It is solid. And this continues to be metal. Full back plate. So this is the ZOTAC Gaming GeForce RTX 5090 solid OC. And you can see through this fan. And then we'll just go through this one more time. This same exact design of skeletal reinforcement all the way through. Once again, you can see through this the whole way. It goes all the way to the end, except for right on the end is that infinity mirror. That infinity mirror. Same kind of energy here, where you can see through this one fan entirely. And then this beautiful little aesthetic as well, which is a mirrored ZOTAC Gaming logo just on this kind of pass through. Now this is fully metal as well on the back. Yeah, they added a couple other mirrors, right? So this is probably one of the most understated but cool features. I'm a big fan of this mirrored ZOTAC Gaming logo. And they did continue the design between ZOTAC Gaming and GeForce RTX, but that is also passed through. I'm really excited to get my hands on this. See, there's that frame again. I'm excited to hear from some people their experience with this card and how shocked you will be with how sturdy it is. All right, S-Reg, are you here? I don't know. But you could potentially replace the central piece with a mirror. It is just a sticker thing, basically, but it is nice metal and bronze. Ready for giveaway. That's Greg. Well, Neolink, I have a solution for you. Close the giveaway. Let's do some hype build up. I wanted to show this off as a last kind of thing before we switch gears entirely. So this is the RTX 4090 Trinity. As you can see, the end is a little different. There's just a couple of bars with the purpose of holding the card on there. Now this is beastly cooler, but it is nowhere near as big. There's no support bar. The back brace is also smaller. Nothing really here on this end either. So this is going to move a little. I can tell you, this appears bigger, but it is 100% lighter. Of course, there's also not the ARGB connector, and the button is there, but not software driven, and the power connector is upside down. Richard 14110, tell us more about the 14110, or don't. Fine. Congratulations there, Richard. Please follow the claimant instructions that we will be sharing shortly. For those of you who are still here and hanging out, I'm going to share a couple more blurbs on the schedule really quick. as we switch gears and remind everybody that I will be going live. I will be going offline here and then immediately going live on my personal channel, which I was just informed I could potentially raid. We're going to find out. I actually don't know if I can raid. But can I open 2 OBSs? $14,109 was taken. Got it. I can open 2 OBSs. We're gonna find out if I blow up the world with this. It does not like it works, but it does not load the docs. Anyway, okay, let's talk through a couple more things really quick. Let's talk schedule and then let's get rolling. All right, so I'm going to go live on my channel here and have a good time. Brian is sending me a message now. I don't know why. Okay. We're going to continue to giveaways on my channel. We switch gears here right now, so please do come over there as well and follow me because I get to do all kinds of cool things and I have a lot of cool shit, information to share. Dang it, I was so close. Oh, can say, does exclamation point clip work on this channel? Provide a valid token. Oh, I didn't get the information. Yes, but I forgot to copy the correct information. I don't know what information I put in there, but it's not the right information. So obviously it doesn't work. But I'll have it fixed for next week because I know exactly how to fix it. Yeah, so I will stream on my channel here after this for a while. I will stream on my channel at 5:30 Pacific time on Monday. I will then be streaming at 5 p.m. on this channel on Wednesday. We are going to be doing a build with a 9800X 3D, 64 gigs of, I'm not quite sure, maybe 8,000. I'm not entirely sure what speed RAM. 8 terabytes of gaming space, including a 2 terabyte PCIe 5 drive. That's like 15,000 a sec read write. We're going to put one of these 5090s in there. It's going to be in that Be Quiet light base case back there with the Be Quiet 360 light loop cooler and a Dark Power 13,000 watt power supply. It's going to be really cool. We're going to include Bryant and maybe Jason from ZOTAC there to talk about ZOTAC stuff. We're going to have Big Kevin from Be Quiet here to talk about Be Quiet stuff, our supplies, cases, coolers, fans, all that stuff. And then I'm hoping to get the marketing guy from Patriot Viper to come on stream and talk through optimization of RAM timing. And we're going to tweak it so that it is exactly as it needs to be paired with the 9800X 3D, which I think is going to be that. These are all going to be really cool things. We're going to boot it up, make sure it works, and then I'm going to go home. I'm going to image it, and then 6 a.m. Pacific time, I will be live on the ZOTAC channel. We will unbox a RTX 5080 Amp Extreme Infinity live on stream that is still sealed, that I wouldn't even let Brian or Jason from ZOTAC open. They wanted to open it at the office and take pictures, and I said, no, it's 9. We're going to open it on stream together. So it is still sealed. Jason and Brian have not seen one in real life. We're going to get hands-on for the first time, and then we're going to install it and play games all day. There will then be an additional build later in the month of February involving a 9950X, 128 gigs of DDR5, 16 terabytes of PCIe 4 NVMe. A 5080 is going to go into that. The 5080 is going to go into that. That will also be in a light-based case with a light loop cooler and a Dark Power 13,000 watt PSU. But I'm going to take some pieces off of this and swap it, and we're going to have a black and white build. The server build is going to be inverted, facing this way. The gaming build is going to be standard angle, facing this direction. It'll be like this, and I'll be able to look and enjoy both from the different angles of those Amp Extreme Infinities. And the gaming build will then be upgraded to a 5090, and we will stream on all of it and talk through all the tech. It's going to be a ton of fun, and we've got a lot of stuff to give away. If you haven't already, make sure you pop over to that Gleam giveaway, which includes giveaways from ZOTAC, Be Quiet, and Patriot Viper. With that, I'm going to say, let's see if we can actually do this thing for raid, and head on over to my channel, where we're going to have a good time, play some games, hang out, and get hyped and ready. So do as I said. Make sure you join the ZOTAC Discord. Make sure you join my Discord. Follow our socials. Keep up on what's going on. Keep the notification on this channel when we go live, because as I said, we're going to do a ton of giveaways, and we're going to do some really cool things. World first unboxing, for example, of a ZOTAC Gaming GeForce RTX 5080 Amp Extreme Infinity. First one. Really excited for that, and more to come with it. So I'm going to try to do this raid thing and see how that works, and see if I can raid my channel even though it's not live. Hey, it does work. We'll be popping over there in just a minute, and I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here and hanging out with me as we talk through gear. We're going over there. We're going to continue the party. We're going to keep doing giveaways. See you there in just a minute.
Down by the river where the pine trees grow, there's a new gadget that's starting to show. Plastic and metal screens, one glow. Grab your console, it's time to go.